Today it's Monday, June 24th, 2024, and this is the block from Jaguar that I received on Friday or Saturday. Friday, I think. I think Friday afternoon arrived. I haven't cleaned, I haven't washed it. The block, it went to one machine shop for sleeves, and then it went to a different machine shop for the to fix the bore and the final honing and to resurface it, because the sleeves was outside. So what I have done, what I did till now, I get the crankshaft as it is. I haven't washed it. The crankshaft doesn't look like it's been polished. I see some marks here and there. Nothing indicates that's been polished, at least. All right. It's the journals. It's between 1 to 2,000 of millimeter difference to each other, not something crazy. These are the 4 lower crank main bearings that I received. This corresponding to the number 2, 3, 4, and 5. The number 1 came without bearing, and there was not upper bearings at all. It was missing completely the upper. These are the new one. Before I show you there, one second. Inside of this box has a head gaskets, has seals. This is not for me because I'm closing a short block, so I don't have to mess with this. I open it just to see, and then I close it back again. On top of this one, there was the crank main bearings. That's this one. The connecting bearings, and have a look on this. It's been pushed inside of this. Yeah, never mind. So connector bearings, crankshaft main bearings. There was the thrust washers, these two. This block has only upper. It does have a lower. Okay. These are the old flex plate bolts that was on the crankshaft. The old damper pulley bolt. It's there, and here is the crank gear with the friction washers. These friction washers, if you want my opinion, you have to put a new one. It's a good thing to put a new one. One second. Where was I? I was here. I was saying that the friction washers that what has here, these are the same like what has the M156 between the cam adjuster and the camshaft. That's what it is actually. These 1, 2, 3 pieces, it's a good thing to put a new one. The flex plate bolts, it's a good thing to put a new one. And the damper pulley bolt, it's a good thing to put a new one. The crankshaft bearing cap bolts. These bolts are good to test with the plastic cage, but the final bolts that are gonna be installed on this block, it's supposed to be a new one. You cannot reuse the old one. That's my point. That's why you see, I mean, yeah, it's one use only. Plus the side bolts, they have seals. So you need the bolts and the seals. And for this block has something like 75 degrees at the end. It does have a 90 degrees, has 75, something like that, 70 or 75. In any case, a crankshaft bearing cap bolts here, all right? Then what we have here, let me show you what we have. We have the damper pulley, we have the flex plate, and the connect nuts here that I haven't opened it yet, and the pistons there. That I have opened it and I close it, that's it, nothing more, nothing less. Just to see what we have inside. Here in this box, there was inside the crankshaft bearing cap bolts. There is this plastic piece, but this doesn't belong to us, okay? There are these bolts here inside, and there are also the head bolts. That once again, you see how it looks like? It looks like the M156 head bolts, right? It does have enough material from here to the top. And again, you have a sleeve block, you're gonna install these connectors, you're not gonna use the studs, or at least new head bolts. Just saying. I'm not gonna close the cylinder heads. Somebody else will gonna do it, because I'm gonna close only the short block. That's what they said to me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, keep it there, I'm gonna put back again. Then, okay, finish from this side. The lines, what you see on the damper pulley on the flex plate, it's because they balance the crankshaft. I hope to have a happy end. All right. Also here, and you see the line what they have done here. Okay, I mean, if the piston and connecting rods they had so much difference in a weight than the stock one, it makes sense. I mean, if you have a piston wrist pin and connecting rod that's, let us say, 2 kilograms, and then you put piston connecting rod aftermarket that's 1 kilogram, then yes, it makes sense. It's a must to balance the crank. I'm just saying, and I'm stopping there. All right. I think that when I put it inside to test it, because there is one piece here, it was touching somewhere, either front or back. There is one line here. We're gonna see that later. It's not now the time. I mean, in worst case scenario, if it's touching this piece here, with one file, I'm gonna file it a little bit. That's it. It's turning nice when you put inside, but when you use a plastic gauge, let me show you what's the, it's not a problem, but see, it's very good. Some friends of mine, they're saying to me, you see this nonsense with the BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Audi, that they have a different color bearings. And I'm saying this is good thing, because from one bearing to the other, there is a 4,000 of a millimeter difference. So you can play and you can make the main line almost perfect. Just a second to stop the vacuum cleaner. All right. In this case, on these bearings, they are the same bearings. It was the same nylon bag, you know, there is no color code or something. The same thing for the connecting rods. All right. So what do you have here? Let's start from the number 5, because I'm here. All right. The number 5. Oh, come on. Dang it. The number 5, it's not 0.038, where I'm pointing. It's not 0.038. It's not 0.051. It's something like 0.045. All right. I'm gonna measure it. I measure the journals for the crank. Just wanna see what it takes. Here on the number 4, you have a little bit more tight than 0.038. Where I'm pointing, I don't even know where I'm pointing. It's a little bit more tight than 0.038. It's more loose than 0.25. On the number 3, it's almost 0.038, and it comes a little bit more thick here. The same thing here, it's a little bit more thick here, it's a little bit more thin. The number 2, it's at, I'm pointing, 0.038, no, it's not 0.051, it's 0.045, let us say. Okay, and the number 1, it's more close to the 0.051 of millimeter. Now, what does it take to fix this one? I can remove the crank main bearings, the bearing cells, or with the bearing cells, and I can measure with dial bore gauge there. As soon as I get already now one measurement with a plastic gauge, and it's very close to my measurements actually, that's what I was expecting to see, what can I do? I'm gonna write this bearing cell number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, and 5, and what's my plan? This one that's giving more clearance, I'm gonna put it, let us say, here, and this that gives less, I'm gonna exchange it with this one to see if it's this from the bearing cell. Let us say the number 3, I can exchange the number 3 with the number 1, and the number 1 with the number 3, just in case to see that it's not from the bearing cell. All right, because once again, they sleeve the block, it's an open deck block, but they haven't removed completely. I mean, you see how does it looks like this one? It's not like the Darton sleeves that you remove completely all the cylinder and you put inside and has also support left and right. Yeah, no, it is what it is. Did I mention that I haven't prepared, I haven't cleaned the block? I haven't touched at all. It's just only clean a little bit here to be able to have some measurements. By the way, cooling jets, they're not here. I didn't find anywhere. It's not in the box over there. What's my point? That even if everything is fine, and let us say I put the crankshaft, before you install the crankshaft, first you put the cooling jets. 101. After that, it's gonna be a headache to put it inside, especially when you have also the connecting rods on the way. That's my point. The cooling jets, they're not here. That's all the parts that I have, like I said. This is the gasket kit with the crankshaft main bearings and connecting rod bearings. These are the bolts that I receive, connecting rods and pistons. Nothing more than this. Damper pulley and flex plate, the block and the parts that you see here. I do not have cooling jets. I'm happy that I found also the pins here for the crankshaft bearing caps, because it was one on the engine or two on the engine and the rest it was inside. So I can use these bolts, like I said, to see if I can make it better the main line. Like this, will gonna work? Yes, it will gonna work. Is it okay? No, it's not gonna seize, but it's not gonna be. It's not nice to have a different clearance on different crankshaft bearing caps on the bearings, you know. And I hope they don't have any difference the connector bearings, because it's gonna F me up. It's different to have to deal with 10 bearing cells and different to have to deal with 16 for the connectors. Yeah. At least I have the tool to check I have the tool over there for the connectors to see the big end of the connectors, something is that. So that's the story. That's the story till now. This video is mostly for the owner, like any other time, and that I do not have the cooling jets, like I said, the 4 cooling jets, the double that comes down there. It's not here with the parts. And that I need also new bolts. Okay, for the damper pulley, I'm not gonna be the one who's gonna close it. For the flex plate, this is a different guy. Same thing with the friction washers. I'm gonna put it back again as it was. Alright, but my advice, put a new one to don't have any headache. Torque it down to specs and everybody happy. Now, I'm gonna continue a little bit with this engine, but I have to stop because it's coming the M157. The M157 that's here since last year. The car from the United States I'm talking about. It's here in Emirates since July 23. Okay, on this new garage it came a month ago, I think, couple of weeks ago, month ago, yeah, something like that. But it's a long time here, so I want to finish it first, has priority. This engine came, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. That's the story. And again, even if everything was fine, once again, if I put everything and then it's remaining the cooling jets, I don't think so we're gonna be able to have an access to put it down there. You know, most probably you have to open everything again, or at least the connector nodes. Yeah, that's it for now. Next video, when I'm gonna fix finally the main line, and it's gonna be much more acceptable than this. I'm gonna get some measurements, write down the bearing cells, mark it to know which ones where, to be able to play with. It's not gonna have that much the bearing cells, but even a little bit we're gonna see. Washing the engine, preparing everything, the engine block, washing the crankshaft, washing everything, set up the piston ring gap, and then start closing. It's gonna be a soft block, like I said. And this, if I remember right, it belongs to a Jaguar 5.0, 5 liters. Anything else? No, nothing more, nothing less. That's it. Thank you very much. Over and out.